Okay, so on page P20. Now, hey, this is just refresher. These are things that we're going to have to be doing in geometry over and over again. Okay? I need you to try your best on it. Yeah, the calculator will do a lot of it, but there's some things the calculator won't do, and here it is. Simplifying radicals. I mean, if it were easy to simplify radicals, then everybody would have kids. Sorry. So what does it mean, simplify radical? Well, let's look at number 1, the square root of 32. We do not just type it in the calculator. Our answer is likely to have a radical in the answer. Number 1 is square root 32. So here we go. We have to start thinking about what numbers can we multiply together to get 32. And we're going to break this down to its prime factors if we need to. Prime factors are 2, 3, 5, 7. Can you tell me the next one?
9.
Nope.
11.
11. It's prime 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Numbers that you can only get by multiplying it and 1. Alright, so 32. What two numbers can you multiply together to get 32? 8 and 4. So we'll start with that. 8 times 4. 8 is not a prime number. 4 is not a prime number. But already the 4, I know what the square root of 4 is. 2. Okay. So we'll just keep going. 4 is 2 times 2. What about 8?
4.
4 times 2.
2 times 4. And then here's another 4. So that's 2 times 2.
And the 8 you had to put 2 times 4, you just put 4 times 4. Oh, wait. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm remembering all addition.
Okay. Now we're left with just prime numbers at the bottom of this tree. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's. So this equals the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And we're almost done. Since this is the square root, it's to the power of 2. So we're going to go find every group of 2 and pull it out as one single item. It just so happens this is all 2, so I'm saying 2 a lot. We're getting couples. Here's a couple of 2's. So that's going to come out as 1, 2. Here's another couple of 2's, or pair of 2's. So I will have another single 2 on the outside. The things that you bring out from underneath the radical, they're going to get multiplied to whatever's on the outside of the radical. So on the outside I've got 2 times 2. What I'm left with is a single 2. There's not enough for another pair, so it will stay on the inside of the radical. Now simplify it even farther. 2 times 2 is 4. Square root 2. The calculators that we have will not give us these type of answers. So we're going to have to work it out by hand.
What if there was a fair way to distribute them? Would it be 4? Answer.
If there were a 6, 2 here,
Yeah.
then there would be nothing left under the radical because you would bring that last pair of 2 out, and it would be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 6.
Or 8. Yeah.
So it is possible to get everything out of the radical.
Right.
That would be a perfect square, and right off the bat, I'm not seeing any. Well, I guess I am. All right. Now, you can make this a shorter process if you know that 32 is 2 times 16. 2 times 16. And the square root of 16 is
16 is 4.
4.
I'm thinking addition for whatever reason.
You bring that 4 out, you leave the 2 in, and there you go. All right, that's number 1. Number 3. Square root of 50 times the square root of 10. Number 3. Square root of 50 times square root of 10 equals square root 500. It equals the square root of, I can break this down to prime numbers. 500 is a pretty big number. So I'm going to give myself a little edge. Can you think of any perfect squares? Perfect squares are 4, that's 2 times 2, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. Can you think of any perfect squares that divide evenly into 500? 25. So 500 is 25 times 20. Can you see that all right, Miss Hannah? Now you notice in the beginning we had multiplication and I was able to combine it all underneath one radical. Well, the same holds true if you have something on the inside of the radical, you can split it apart if it's being multiplied. So this equals the square root of 25 times the square root of 20. And I did that because I know what the square root of 25 is. What's the square root of 25? 5. This is 5 square roots of 20. That's not the final answer. Now I need to think about this number 20. What can you multiply together to get 20?
4 and 5.
2 and 10 or 4 and 5. I like 4 and 5 because one of those is a perfect square.
4.
4. And the square root of 4 is
2.
2. All right, so let me write that out as another step. So it's going to be equals 5 times the square root of 4 times 5. The square root of 4 is 2, so we're going to bring a 2 out. And it gets multiplied to the 5. Yes? We could have done this in many more steps than what we did. We could have done it in fewer steps than what we did. But You have this process that you can use. You have this process that you can use. Anybody see how we might have been able to do it in fewer steps?
I didn't multiply 50 times 10. I just wrote down 50 and 10, and then I had my number of formulas there.
Okay. Were you going to say something more?
Oh, you wanted to have this down?
Okay, sometimes they give us, a little fat on the bone. We could have written this one right here as the square root of 5 times 10. And we could have included what was underneath that one here as well. And all of a sudden we've got a pair that we can take out. My point is, if you get it, it's not going to take you very many steps. If you don't get it at all, you can do it, it's going to take you a lot of work. If you get part of this, then it may take you a few more steps than this, but you can still get it. Take out the pair, add 1. There's only one thing left. 10 square roots of 5. 10 square roots of 5. Right, Sam? The same thing happens with variables. All of these are to the power of 2, the radical is. So anytime you find a pair, x times x, then you scratch both of them out and you bring them out as 1x. So number 7. 98x to the 3rd, y to the 6th. This radical is to the power of 2. If you're a visual learner, then you're going to do it like this. You're going to do 98, and then x, 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 y, 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 y. Because I love you. Sorry, never mind.
Mr. Mackey, are you good?
Is that from the Beatles?
From the Beatles? No. That's from every teenage daughter I ever had. Why? 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 Because I love them.
Mr. Mackey, are you good? You good?
Right.
I think you had too much coffee.
Here we go. That's not possible. Here we go. You got 2 choices here. You can use division when you have variables, or you can spell it all out like we did right here and mark out the pairs as you go. If you use division, then you end up with 98. You take the power of the variable. You divide it by the power of the radical. Power of the radical is 2. So 3 divided by 2.
1.5.
2 goes into 3 one time with 1 left over. That means there's 1 x on the outside. There was a remainder of 1, so there's 1 x on the inside. Now the y's. 6 divided by 2.
3.
3. I didn't leave myself space, so it's going to be y to the 3rd power on the outside. It divided evenly, so there are no y's left on the inside. Yeah? If you're visual, then you just go mark out the pairs. There's 1 pair of x's, So I'm going to have an X on the outside. There's 1, 2, 3 pair of Y's. Skylar. I marked out 3 pair of Y's. So it's Y to the third on the outside. And whatever's left, 98 and an X stays on the inside. So we're done with the variables. Now it's just to the numbers. Can somebody tell me anything special about the number 98? So we could divide it by 2 and start breaking it down to prime numbers. So 98 divided by 2 is
49. Yeah, 49.
49.
Is there anything special about 49?
San Francisco.
It's what?
Perfect.
It's a perfect square.
Oh, I thought they said football.
Okay,
It ain't make a man.
Yes, it's a
so
football thing.
here we go.
Oh, yeah.
We've got X, Y to the third on the outside, and we've got 2 times 49 on the inside. And Molly said 49 is a perfect square. So what's the square root of 49?
7.
7. So that's going to equal, we'll bring the 7 out. Now the only thing that's left on the inside is 2. Can't do anything with that 2, you're done. That's the answer. Let's start with this. Do 2, 4, 6, and 8. 2, 4, 6, and 8.
All right.
Huh?
Sky. 2, 4, 6, and 8.
2, 4, 6. That's what you want us to do right now?
Yes.
2, 4, 6, and 8?
Oh, I'm already done.
You already done?